So today I'm going to introduce you guys to a method that not only allows you to test the law in a very fun way, but it's a method that's so easy that anyone can use it at any time. It's a method so powerful as well in its influence that you can impact nature, animals, specific people, weather, money, you name it. Now, most of you are probably quite tired because you've been looking for the next manifestation hack, the next video that's going to give you that quick fix. And some of you are already treating manifestation like it's a second job. I can't blame you because, of course, the way that it's been taught, it does make it seem like it's extremely convoluted where you've got to do all these techniques. You're going to affirm until your vocal cords want to give up. You want to visualize so much that you start hallucinating. And some of you were burning so much sage, it's more than an actual exorcist. So, yeah, it can be quite exhausting and you do feel like you've got another job going where you're having to do all of this. But for many of you who are doing this, you're seeing very little to no results. It feels slow, arduous, and it's affecting your mental well-being. You're not really having much fun with it. This is the kind of thing that just keeps you running around in circles. This is the kind of thing that keeps you too attached, too connected to your desires. And you're told all the time, as you know, that you have to detach. But how can you when you're constantly doing these meditations and affirmations and 3-6-9 methods of scripting? It's not always fun. So this method is hopefully going to rip through all of that because, like I say, it's so ridiculously easy that even your grandma could do it while she's sipping tea. And the next thing you know, she could manifest that 5-star cruise with Enrique, her sexy butler, feeding her grapes. That's how simple it can be, or that's how simple we're going to make it. And it is so effective, so effective, in fact, that we had to set up a whole separate room on our Discord server just for all the avalanche of success stories that people have with this method. It's actually a technique that I think it's probably one of the few things that all manifestation gurus agree on. They've all been using it since Joseph had taught it about, I can't remember how many years ago actually Joseph did his list method video. That's what it's called, by the way, list method. But many other coaches have been using it, have been teaching their own versions of it even, but they've all been influenced. They've all watched Joseph. He was amongst the first to start posting videos about this stuff. And it's wonderful to see that everyone is utilizing it and they're sharing the word. And the reason why other gurus and stuff are sharing this stuff is because it works. And they're sharing as well their incredible successes from using this list method as well. Some of them, I want to thank any of them as well if they do watch this, that they've even credited Joseph as well, which is extremely kind. Not everybody does, but it's really nice to know that we can all come together with this particular method because it works, because it is effective. And today I'm actually going to give you the raw, unfiltered, true version of it as Joseph had intended it to be originally. Because of course, like with any method, you know, people add their own things to it. It gets a bit distorted. It's a bit like Chinese whispers where the message gets distorted as you go. So I'm going to teach it with the intention, the true intention that Joseph had for this list method. He's also got a video called the 14-day system, 14-day list method system. So go and watch that as well. But I think a lot of you had asked me to do my own version of it, perhaps in my own words as well, because we still had a little bit of questions about it, a bit of uncertainty. So I'm going to make this absolutely simplify this, make it fun. We're going to bring back the fun in manifesting, make this simple, and it's going to blow your mind because when all of your manifestations start to roll in, it's such a euphoric feeling, even in the list method room on our Discord itself, the euphoria, the fun, and it can be very simple items, but it's just knowing that you have the power to essentially create that experience for yourself. I mean, this method as well, I mean, not only is it, of course, to solidify your faith and to get you to get into the momentum and flow of constant manifesting, but it's incredible because if you use it correctly, it's going to teach you within weeks and months what it takes many teachers out there decades to understand. That's the really cool thing about this. And that was actually the purpose of this in the first place. It's not about getting loads of manifestations, although that's a fun byproduct of it. It is about testing this out so that you can understand. And I promise you, if you stay with me through this and listen closely and use it how it's intended to be used, you are going to learn so much, and you are majority of your questions regarding your manifestation is all going to be answered. You're not going to need me or anybody. You're not going to need anything. You're going to be able to do it yourself, test it yourself, learn it for yourself. And we've got incredible success stories from this as well. So if you're ready, are you ready to lead reality instead of having reality lead you? Then grab yourself a notebook and we're going to start your list today. This whole video is going to be one big fat juicy gem with loads of little sprinklings of juicy gems on the top. So I want you to start collecting them like you would your Tamagotchis. Do you know, I always wanted a Tamagotchi, by the way. It's one thing I never had. Keep it alive. You know, everyone else's ones were dying at school. I remember that. But yes, collect those juicy gems like your Tamagotchi. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a hot drink or a cool drink if you happen to be in a warm climate. And let's go through it. So, you're going to take notes, as I always get you guys to do. Usually I get you to make notes in the comment section, but write it down if you can. Many of you have said that you've started doing that, and it's given you a whole new lease of life with my videos. You've learned so much. Because some of the teachings I have, they're quite an advanced level of manifesting. So to hear that you guys are getting it, I know, because those of you who are still here watching this, you're all destined for success. And I know that because you've got the mindset for it. You're here to learn. So let's start off with a little bit of a story time, because I just want to share with you a little bit about how Joseph actually discovered this. Like I said, he's been doing this a long time. He started his YouTube channel at a time where there wasn't really many people who were teaching about the law, and he wanted to get to know others. He wanted to share what he had found. And so 8 years ago he stumbled upon it was just like a chance thing that happened. He said to me that he was just feeling like he was being unheard. He was unheard for whatever reason. He just didn't feel very important within himself, and he got frustrated. That was actually his intention. He got frustrated. So he sat down with his notebook. And those of you who know Joseph knows that he's very much one for his journaling and his notebooks. Very strategic, very method. Do you know, I'm not even going to say that word. That was the word I stumbled on actually when we manifested each other. That's the word that brought us together. Methodical? Methodological? I think that's where I was going. Anyway. So he wanted to vent about the fact that he did not feel very important. So he was like, right, but I feel important. I am important. And so it was a very strong declaration that he made, just written it down once, spontaneous act, forgot about it, left it alone. And the next day he goes to the coffee shop, and his barista that serves him, most days, she looked at him differently this time. And she actually said, you look really important today. Just like that. And in that moment, he realized that his very words had just leapt off the page of his journal and into his reality. And this wasn't a mere coincidence, it was a manifestation. And that's why in that moment, this very eye-opening moment for Joseph, the list method was then birthed into existence. Now, those of you know that Joseph is trained mathematician. He's got very sort of scientific and analytical mind, computer engineering and all of that. So very different approach to me. We believe and we understand in the law exactly the same way. But where I'm more the psychology and creative element of it, he is very strategic. He is very logic driven. He very much wants proof and data. And so he knew that before he could properly trust anything, he needed to test it. He needed to collate that data to start to see the patterns, to break it down. That's like what I do with all of you, right? I get you guys to share your success stories, and every single one of you is sitting on incredible success stories, I know I keep saying that like a broken record, but if you'll just take a step back and just listen to what I'm saying, every single one of you have manifested numerous incredible things, not just one, numerous. I know, I've worked with many of you. I've seen it for myself. Many of you, unfortunately, don't realize it's a manifestation success. But you see, if you did that and you looked back, you would see a pattern. So not everyone is getting that they're a success yet. It's okay, let's try this way, because this is going to show you you're a success over and over and over and over again. So he started. documenting his manifestations, and he created an abundance of evidence that showed not only that this method works, but it shows things like you don't have to sit there imagining for ages, you don't have to feel any elevated emotions, you can manifest as simply as writing something down, and the power of dropping it as well, the power of the bridges unfolding. You just start to break it all down. And that's why I said to you, if you utilize this correctly, you're not going to have any questions about manifestation. So you're ready to become a manifesting master. Like I say, we've got that separate room in the Discord community. You just need to have to go and have a look in there to see the kind of incredible things that many people have manifested, and many coaches are sharing their successes. I think someone said they manifested their house, money. I've heard this from you guys as well, that these some of the big names too, they're using it, their list method. That's how powerful it can be to simply write it down. You don't have to keep on writing the same phrase repeatedly. It really is showing you how simple this can be. So let's bring it back to the basics. Let's simplify it, and let's start to get you guys to be playful, to experiment, so that you can start to see more success. Let's have fun, okay? So grab yourself a journal, a notebook, whatever it is that you have handy, and a pen. Although I did have my pen, and I don't anymore. What happened to my pen? There I was thinking, I'm so organized, I'm going to have a little, something to show you guys, and I don't have my pen. And I don't edit my videos, do I? So here it is, raw, uncensored, unfiltered. Oh well. Step by step, I'm going to break it down for you, right? Let's simplify and amplify this manifestation process, shall we? We're going to dive in. So the important thing, like I say, notebook, pen, notebook and pen. Do not type this on your computer or use your notes on your mobile phones. And there's a really important reason for this. Let me clarify. Handwriting. It's important for a number of reasons. Firstly, it activates more regions of the brain than typing does, and the process engages your fine motor skills, your memory recall, your cognitive processing, and it's going to strengthen the neural pathways as well that encode information. So when you've got this deeper engagement through writing, it's going to engage, first of all, the left hemisphere, which is responsible for logic, while the act of imagination engages the right hemisphere. You know, when you're thinking for things of your list, what you're going to list down, you're inadvertently actually imagining it as you're doing it, right? And then, of course, combined, the result is going to be like a combined sort of brain activation that's going on by writing it down, okay? And that's going to lead to new insights, tapping into your full power. It's also going to activate your reticular activating system more effectively when you actually physically take the time to write something down, because that's signaling to your brain that very action that, you know, pay attention, this is important. Plus, when you're writing things down, it's so much slower by hand. Especially if you're like me and you haven't been writing things for the longest time and you're left-handed, it's so much slower. And that's really beneficial as well, because it makes it more of a deliberate process than typing is. And that extra time that it takes for you to write this list down is going to cause like a deeper emotional processing. Hence, you've got a better impression going on of your subconscious mind. So you see, so that's the importance of writing it down. Now, step one. You're going to write down 10 things every day, 10 random things in first person perspective. That's really, really important. And these 10 items should just stream very naturally from your consciousness. Try not to overthink it. Try not to get stressed. Many of you say, well, why do I need to do 10 things? Yes, aim for at least 10 things. Actually, you could list more than 10 things, but aim for at least. There is a reason for that. I will explain it. But you can always write it first person, always write it in past or present tense. So I found $10 on the ground. I saw a woman with a beard. I had a very profound psychic experience. Somebody dreamt of me. I saw a pink frog with brown eyes. I healed my back issue. I no longer suffer with pain. You know, I actually had, I think I shared that client success story as well. She used the list method to heal her back issue. It was absolutely incredible. Another client of ours, she's actually just got success with her SP. She's sharing it with everyone in the Discord and how she did it. She's been using this list method religiously. She manifested someone that she hadn't connected with or spoken to in 10 years. I've shared that success story too. And he suddenly got in touch out of the blue just because she simply wrote down, I think it was someone from this guy from my university or whatever gets in touch. I can't remember exactly how she phrased it. I have to go back to that success. But this is the thing. We've also just had some more people on the Discord say, someone else was saying, I wrote down that XYZ contacts me, and they contacted me. So keep it random, and I'll make that actually step number 2. Keep it random. So you're listing those 10 things in present tense first person, number 1. But number 2, keep it random and light, because some of you have got some very intense desires. Some of you are manifesting some really heavy going things that really mean a lot to you. Okay, you're still very much attached, like your specific person, or like all the millions and millions, or whatever it is that you want to manifest. So leave those to one side, just park them for now, because we want to build up your faith. We're wanting to experiment with the law. So you don't want to use this for your big desires just yet. Okay, you can do, you absolutely can. But the purpose of this is to experiment and to learn about the law and to build up your momentum. Okay, so I want you to play with your reality when you do this. I want to stretch the limits of your imagination. I mean, when someone said they wanted to see, my client wanted to see a pink frog with brown eyes, she wasn't really thinking about, is that even possible, where it's going to happen? It was literally, she just thought, let me just be random with it. And the more random you can be with it, the better, because it's really going to stand out to you, and it's going to show to you that you can be as specific or as general as you wish. So step number 3 now, don't look back. Don't look back. Don't do it. I know it's tempting, but each and every day you're going to start afresh. You're going to begin a new page. So I've got day 1, there's my 10 things. I'm just going to put it down, get on with my life, not think about it. Then day 2, at whatever time I decide, I'm going to pick up my notebook and I'm going to write down my list for day 2. And so on and so on and so on. But I'm not going to look back at my previous lists. Not yet. Have patience. And the reason for that is, the reason why I want 10 things and I don't want to keep looking back at this point is, first of all, I'm trying to inundate my memory so that I'm not going to consciously remember what I've written, and it's going to help me to drop it. Okay, I'm going to be able to drop the desire and get on with my life. I'm not going to be attached to any one specific thing at this moment. The purpose of this as well is to bypass over-analysis, to bypass the doubts, to bypass the attachment that you have to the outcomes by avoiding any mental resistance. So this is why we say to you, don't read your previous lists for now, because you could potentially start to overanalyze it. You might start to question your progress with it. You might put some pressure on yourself, and then you're going to trigger some limiting beliefs, and it's all going to come crashing down. So we're not going to look just yet. Okay, but just keep on listing on day 1, day 2, day 3. Keep going every day, writing 10 things. And you're going to keep this going for 14 days, right? So step 4. Do this every day for 14 days. 10 new things each and every day. Now, this is important. I'm writing my list. I'm at day 8. I've made it to day 8. I've got like nearly, by this list, I'm going to have like 80 things on my list, okay? So now, like a kid at Christmas, or Christmas Eve, I should say, you're allowed to go back to day 1 and review your list, being able to check off what has already manifested. So on day 8, I'm allowed to go back to day 1 and I can have a look. Oh yeah, I did see that pink butterfly, and I did get that free coffee, and start ticking it off. Start thinking to myself, yeah, how did that happen? Maybe a lot of your list, for some people, a lot of their list would have been ticked off already. For others, maybe barely anything. That's okay, we're just observing. Then comes day 9. So it's a little bit like Christmas Eve, you know, you've just been allowed to open one present. So Just day one present. That's all you get to check. Leave the others alone. But on day 9, when I'm writing down day 9, I can go back to day 2 when I finished my list on day 9, and I'll go to day 2 now, and I'm going to check day 2. And I'm going to check and see what has manifested from day 2 on my list, what's manifested from day 1. And all the while I'm continuing on with my list. You can carry this on now for 14 days. That's what Joseph had recommended. But it's not necessary to stop there. It's just, you can if you want to. But for the most part, everyone, particularly those in our community on Discord, they've created a lifestyle from this. They've made it a lifestyle. They're having so much fun. So continue it as long as you wish. Like I say, one of our clients, she's been an avid follower and client of us for the longest time. She's achieved amazing, incredible, almost miraculous things. And her unfolding with her SP after 2 years of no contact has been absolutely miraculous in her eyes. And she gets it now. She gets how to look at look at bridges. She gets how things unfold. She understands things about time crunches because she's been doing the list method for the longest time. She didn't use the list method specifically for her SP manifestation. That had to go a little deeper because yes, some of you will have limiting beliefs that could potentially get in the way. But for now, you're building up the momentum. So have a look. How did these things manifest on your list? Did it happen in a way that you expected, or was it when you least expected? What were you doing whilst these things on your list were manifesting? How quickly did they happen? Did you notice that my free coffee took longer than me getting £10,000? Why is that? You're going to notice as well that things don't manifest in any particular sort of order. You're going to notice that this shower of manifestations, they're just so much fun. It's uplifting when, my client was sending me pictures of a blue stop sign and a pink frog with brown eyes and all of these things. You could be specific, you could be general. So do you see what I mean? This is what we're looking for when these things unfold. It's not about let me manifest loads and loads of things. It's about let me understand, first of all, how easy this is. I can write it down. I didn't believe in it. I don't need belief to manifest. I don't need to believe it's going to happen. I had some doubts about it. Oh my God. I can have doubts and I can still get what I want. Do you see the purpose of this? So that's why step 5, this reviewing of all of your manifestations, this reveling in the magic that you've created, you're going to notice manifestations are just pouring in. Because if you think about it, by week 2, you've got like over 100 odd manifestations on the go. So can you imagine the confidence boost that you're going to get from seeing all of these things, especially when someone you didn't expect contacts you just because you simply listed it down? I did it with Coco because I've been practicing more with it as well. Usually, I'm quite lazy, like I don't even tend to journal things. But Joseph invited me to test it out because it's true. I retain a lot of the stuff from memory. But there is a different sensation you get when you look back through your journal and you tick off. It really does feel like a sense of achievement, just that act in itself of ticking it off as you go. Many people are very obsessed over one particular manifestation. So this way you've got a few things going on. It's a lot of fun. It's going to help you actually to even detach from your big goals like your SP or your dream home or your millions. It's going to help you to detach, have fun, feel within your power. How much more easy do you think it's going to feel to manifest your bigger desires when you see that all these random things that you're putting out there, when you see how it happens, when you see that you've got the power, when you see how you can affect nature and the weather and see what I mean? You're going to see that things don't happen in any particular order. You can even test it with things that are on a time crunch, for example. How about if I was to write down, I manifest £10,000 on the 10th of July, say, for example. Could I manifest on that time crunch? You'll start to notice that we don't have that control over time. What happens instead? Some people say, today I got a free cup of coffee. Perhaps they're thinking that they're going to get it today, the day that they write it down. Maybe in some cases they do, but it's inconsistent for the most part. No, it's going to be today, the day of the manifestation. That could be a few months, could be a few weeks, could even be a year. It doesn't necessarily mean just because it's a free cup of coffee that you're going to get it instantly, because it might seem simple. you could get the 10 grand even sooner than the cup of coffee, if that makes sense. So this is going to help you to really accelerate your manifesting skills. Like I say, that's why, you understand now why I say this is why you're going to learn decades worth of knowledge within weeks and months of doing this. So as I said before, let's address some common questions, because do you guys have any questions? Or have I been I've tried to be quite thorough with this, but you probably do have. So as I've addressed before, writing in past or present tense, either works absolutely fine. You're always writing in first person though. So, you know, I receive a gift or I received a gift are both perfect, absolutely perfect. Try not to overthink this as well, guys. Try not to be too rigid with it, right? It doesn't matter as well if you repeat an item, because I know you'll be listing like hundreds of items. So you might think to yourself, oh my God, like, what if I've just repeated the same thing? Now, we're not intending to repeat the same thing, because we're also trying to prove that constant repetition is not needed. If you've got an intention behind what you've done, what you've written, what you've said, then to do it once is enough. That strong intention and that just doing it is enough to impress. So that's what you're proving as well. So don't intentionally repeat things, but if you do, it doesn't matter. For those of you who worry about it hasn't happened yet, what am I doing? Am I doing something wrong? Patience is the key. If you're consistently searching for results, then you've misunderstood this whole process. The idea, like I said to you before, is not to try and manifest all of these things. It is essentially to prove that you can and you are controlling a lot more in your reality than you realize, and you're not looking for it. You're just simply engaging in this task and observing the results. Everything flowing into you is a bonus, but the whole time you sit there writing it in your list and you're like, oh, I still haven't seen that pink balloon and it's not happened and it's not going to happen. Well, I'm in the waiting room of doom, as I call it. You know, I'm in the waiting room. And if you're in the state of waiting, the state of lack, you're not it. You're not going to see it, even if that pink balloon smacks you in the face or bursts in front of your eyes. You are not going to see it. Honestly, I know that's a bit drastic, but trust me, I have had such obvious things that people have told me that it's obvious to me, but they completely missed it because they were in the wrong state. So this system is going to give you the freedom, essentially, to take your power back. It's going to show you how easy this can be. And I want you all to unlock your power, because on this entire journey, you're not becoming powerful. You already are powerful. And that's why the list method is so incredibly vital in this journey, because it reveals the manifesting abilities that every single one of you have. Every single one of you have it, and you've had it all along. And this is simply activating it for you. It's just a means of activation. It's not any power in this technique. This technique has no power. It's you and what it does to you when you engage in this process. Does that make sense? I hope so. Now go and have fun with this, because it can be a lot of fun. Join our Discord community if you need to have that additional support, and if you want to learn from others who are gaining success in real time as well, or maybe just to talk to the Neville bot and allow him to guide you on your journey, as well as Joseph and myself. We love you guys. You guys are fantastic. We've got the best community here, the best family, intelligent people. You're all destined for success. We're gonna make sure of that. I love you all. Thank you for being here. See you in the next video.